Hello and thank you for watching. Today I want to show you how to develop your own 35mm film. We'll be using the Nikon FE, and this one was in production I think from 1978 to 84. It's a semi-professional camera, completely manual. You can pick them up at eBay for about $150, but any camera that you're able to get your hands on of 35mm will work for this process. So let's get started here and let's show you how to load the film. Now I buy all my film from eBay. The least expensive I've found is the Fuji 2 or 400. 200 mainly for outside shooting and 400 for inside shooting where it's darker. It's fairly easy to install the film. Just pull enough to reach across the back of the camera, and there'll be a slit in the cylinder on the right to slide the tab of film into, and then just use your thumb to wind it a little bit, and they should fit into the sprockets, and pull film out. Once it does a little bit, you should be able to pull the handle to advance the film, and if it moves, you're good. You can close the case and start shooting. Now let's go shoot. Now I'm just going to aimlessly wander around and take photos of whatever, and these are unedited that you'll see on your screen here. So I haven't done any processing of these. And we'll just let you watch this, enjoy the music. Alright, now that we have our photos, let's go into the darkroom. First thing you're going to need is C1 powder. You can order this from eBay, Amazon. It's about $25. Has all the chemicals you need to be able to develop film. You'll need to get some 1-liter containers. Plastic is fine, doesn't need to be glass. You'll want to be able to label them. so you know the difference between the developer, the Blix, and the stabilizer. And it's pretty straightforward. I fill the containers about halfway with water, and then I simply empty the contents of the packets into the container, mix, and then fill the rest with hot water. It needs to be about 110 degrees. Now you'll only have to mix these chemicals once. They should last you about a year, and I've been able to develop about 15 rolls of film off of one set before I had to buy new chemicals. Now the Blix is a mixture of two of the packets. There's a Blix A and Blix B, two different chemicals. You'll just, they ship separately, they can't be mixed dry. They're activated once they're mixed together in the water, and make sure those are mixed well. And then you'll want to leave, if you're going to be developing immediately, just leave them in the hot water in the sink. You want them to be about 103. Some items you'll need: a developer's bag. This is basically your darkroom. You'll need this canister, that's your developing tank, some scissors, and a can opener works the best for opening the film. You'll be doing this blindfolded essentially within that bag. So you'll have to get the film out and then get the film onto the spool to put it into that canister. And that canister will keep the light from getting to the film. And it is a chore to do this, so I'll show you in a little bit. You get everything loaded in the bag that you'll need, close the bag, and then you'll put your hands into the holes on each side on the other end of this, and you'll fumble around the first time. So what you're going to be doing in the dark, not being able to see, is trying to advance that film onto that spool. And you'll want to push it in until it kind of hits, there's a little lock that catches, and then you can start twisting it and it'll advance it around that spool. And the first time I did this, it took me about 45 minutes. So if you have some extra film laying around, practice. The last thing you want is to get a bunch of sweat from your hands on the film, because that will create spots that will just make the pictures look horrible. So it does take some practice to do this, and if you've got a roll of film that you can practice on, definitely do it. And so you'll put it in the tub, put the lid on the tub, and that protects it from light. So then you'll pull it out of the bag when you're all done like this, and you can start your actual developing. Now you want your chemicals at about 103, and I just leave them in the hot water in the sink. And then I also rinse the film out. This gets it up to the proper temperature as well. And that way it doesn't get cooled off when you put the chemicals in, otherwise your film is not going to develop at the correct rate. You want to agitate it in the plain water, and then just simply dump the water out. Make sure that you do not remove that lid, otherwise you'll expose your film and it'll have all been for nothing. So once you've got that, have your timer ready. You want to put the developer in first, and it will stay in for 3 minutes and 30 seconds. Start your timer as soon as you pour the chemical in, and then once you're done, start agitating.
A few moments later.
And do that for 3 minutes and 30 seconds. And then pour it back in. You don't want to pour this stuff out. Pour it back into your container and reuse it. do not accidentally mix the Blix and the developer. If you get any Blix in your developer, it will kill that entire bottle of developer. So pour your Blix in, and this you'll agitate for 6.5 minutes.
A few moments later.
Now once that's done, pour it back into the container, and then you can rinse your film. It is safe to be exposed to the light now. So and the last chemical is stabilizer. It just basically makes sure that the Blix and developer are inert that are left on the film. And you can pour that back into the stabilizer container and then give it another rinse, and then we'll go and dry the film. Now I cheat a little bit, and we've got hard water in Arizona, so I don't air dry mine. I actually take it out into the garage and use my air compressor to blow off as much water. I've found out that if you try to air dry in Arizona with the hard water, you get spots and the film just comes out horrible. So we'll just go in the garage here, mind the mess, and we'll just blow off as much water as we can, and then we'll hang them to dry. Alright, so if you take a look at the film here, you can see some images on there. Looks like we got them developed. So we'll get these dried off and cut up. I cut them into 6 image length. My scanner's set for that. Now, the scanner that I use is the Epson V550 Photo. It was about $125 at Office Depot, I think it was. There's a whole bunch out there. You don't need to buy any $500 one for these to come out. You know, unless you're planning on printing and selling, I wouldn't spend more than $200 on a scanner. Make sure that you remove all dust, because one little speck is going to be amplified when it's been scanned. You may not see it, but once it gets scanned, you'll definitely see it. So let's take a look at these.